In the year 2037, a whisper spread through the shadows of closed biotech networks. It wasn't about gold, data, or drugs. It was a rumor about something far more valuable. A hidden market where the promise of endless life was being traded. They called it the Immortality sequence, a strand of engineered DNA that could supposedly halt cellular decay and rewrite the very code of aging. At first, it sounded like science fiction, a hoax. But then, physical samples started appearing in private labs. These were biological materials, unlike anything on record, containing genetic sequences that seemed to repair themselves in real time. Scientists were baffled. They watched under microscopes as cells divided with impossible precision, replacing damaged parts faster than any known regenerative system. The data was undeniable. The material was real and it was spreading. Where did it come from? The trail led back to a company long thought extinct, Life Biogenetics. Decades earlier, they vanished after being accused of violating genetic ethics laws. The official story was that they were shut down. The truth? They went underground. Leaked files revealed their new mission was no longer about curing disease, but about rewriting what it means to be human. Internal memos spoke of a biological code capable of preserving vitality across generations. The Life team believed death wasn't inevitable. It was simply a programming flaw in our evolution. Their clandestine project was called the Genesis Program, and at its heart was a mysterious donor sequence, rumored to have originated from an artificially enhanced human prototype. This code began to spread through black market networks, cleverly disguised as an advanced rejuvenation therapy. It was sold to the ultra-rich, the global elite, under the guise of exclusive longevity research. These private buyers paid millions, believing they were purchasing the secret to eternal youth. In reality, they were the unwitting participants in a massive, unauthorized human trial. Soon, reports started to surface. Individuals whose aging seemed to slow dramatically. People whose blood chemistry was altering itself over time. When doctors examined them, they found something impossible. Their DNA wasn't static anymore. It was evolving. Every cell was adjusting itself, as if following a set of hidden instructions. Some hailed it as the next great leap in human evolution. Others feared it was a biological virus, designed for control. One whistleblower painted a terrifying picture. He described working in a secret, Life lab, deep underground. He spoke of rows upon rows of cryogenic tanks stored beneath concrete floors. Inside each tank was a bioluminescent fluid, glowing softly, as if it were alive. When the scientists tried to sequence samples of this fluid, their computers crashed. The data looped infinitely, rewriting itself faster than any machine could analyze it. That's when they understood. This wasn't just living tissue. It was a system that could think. Governments began to intervene, but quietly. Most of the known samples were seized and classified under the highest levels of national security. But you can't put a ghost back in the bottle. The black market trade didn't stop. It just evolved. Wealthy collectors started buying mere fragments of the code, believing that even simple exposure could prolong their youth. On the dark web, the trade was given a new name, the Fountain. Transactions were encrypted through private DNA registries, where buyers could order genetic upgrades with digital currency. The terrifying reality was that no one truly knew what they were injecting into their bodies, and the side effects were bizarre. Doctors began reporting strange cases, patients whose fingerprints were changing, whose eyes were losing their color, whose body temperatures dropped to unnaturally low levels. But one thing remained constant. None of them died. An intercepted lab document outlined the next phase. Project Continuum. The goal was to create a new class of human, immune to decay, time, and disease. But this gift came at a terrible cost. Those who underwent the procedure experienced fragmented memories, emotional disconnection, and a slow, subtle loss of their own identity, as if pieces of who they were had simply faded away. In one recovered case file, a test subject wrote, "I remember my name, but not the meaning of it." The world was beginning to realize what this version of immortality really meant. It wasn't eternal life. It was the slow deletion of one's humanity. The final leak came from a defector. He claimed the fountain is still operating, hidden beneath the facade of legitimate, high-end biotech clinics, offering private treatments to the world's wealthiest. He revealed the ultimate catch. The same sequence that grants endless life also ensures total dependency. The body becomes addicted to its own regeneration. It requires constant reactivation signals from the code. Without it, the body doesn't just age. It collapses in a matter of days. In other words, immortality had a leash. The last document ever recovered from Eterna Life's archives contained a single chilling line, typed in red. "We cured death. Now we own life." Whether the fountain still exists today remains a mystery, but across the globe, genetic databases continue to detect anomalies, unexplained traces of modified sequences embedded in the DNA of random patients. Some scientists believe this is the lingering footprint of the experiment. Others believe it's proof the code has gone viral, self-replicating in silence, spreading through the population. Either way, it leaves us with a question humanity has never been ready to face. If death is no longer natural, what happens to those who can't afford to live forever? Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating and unsettling as I did, hit that like button and subscribe for more dives into the unknown. Stay curious.